Yeah.
Hello.
We keep telling you we're here. Why do you keep doing that?
Yeah, we're all here. Well,
We
actually,
said hello to you.
Jim is here, so we can hear. Oh, and there's Charles. Hello, Charles.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Charles. So, boy, oh boy, is that Walking Dead Daryl Dixon doing wonderful.
What?
What? Great show. It's a great show. They went to Pierre Lachaise today in the episode. Do you understand what that means?
I have no idea.
You do realize
those.
You realize that we're live, right?
No.
Like
do you know who's buried there? Come on, Richard Kish, Pierre Lachaise.
Oh, where's Kish? Kish, are you in the?
Come on.
He was.
Come on. Who is buried in Paris, France? How about just that?
Oh.
The show's set in Paris.
Jim Morrison?
That's motherfucking right. They went through the cemetery, and then you hear dung 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 in French, and then all of a sudden Daryl's walking, and he just looks off, and the lady goes, "What is that?" And he goes, "Jim Morrison. It's an American rock star from the band The Doors. I guess he died in France." And then they just look at his tombstone a little more. And then you just hear a little more of the music. And then they carry on. But it makes you think Jim Morrison might be a zombie shambling around.
Oh, cool.
I could talk about this, but I'm not going to because, hey, everybody, welcome to Alpha Podrants, where here we talk about Star Trek, not Walking Dead.
But it's doing that good, Charles. It's so good.
Well, thank you, Charles. Yes, and that's Mr. Charles Whedon, who says, "Thanks for ruining the franchise, Scott Bakula."
Oh, you want to get right to it? Is that what you're trying to do? You just want to get right to it?
I didn't say that.
Because I'll come right at you. I'll come hard.
No. It's okay. We can take a sip.
Yep. That is the face of a man who has the strength to ruin an entire franchise.
Do you want to know who ruined the franchise?
Scott Bakula.
Star Trek fans. For being so goddamn stupid to not realize how amazing Enterprise was and the gift they were given.
It's been a long road. Do you like the theme song? Getting from there to here.
You know what else ruined the franchise? You know what else? What ruined the franchise? That god awful opening. God, I fucking hated that opening.
It's also not bad.
No, it is bad.
Nope. It connects us to us.
It is just as bad as Scott Bakula.
You're bad.
It's weird because it's kind of jarring. But after you've heard it about 40 times, you get used to it. I think it takes about that many.
Oh, so you already put it in. Great. I was about to put it in and I saw it there. It's about as bad as this. I forgot the segue.
Okay, all right. I want to bring something up about this. Okay, so this little lunatic here, I'm not going to
hero the hard way.
Yeah. I'm not going to mention their name because they don't deserve it. But
sorry, then. Apologies.
It's just it's just they didn't even bother to do their research here. It's just because I looked into the actor who plays.
Well, before you go, then let's at least read it.
Oh, okay. You go.
All right.
Go. I'm not going to read it. You read it.
There's not a single freight person on the crew. Hold on. Wait. Maybe this calls for this. Maybe this calls for this.
Oh no.
There is not a single straight person on the crew of Discovery. Sorry, I do not make the rules. Michael, bye, Queen. Tilly, she gay, dude. Stamets, our shroom boy, and hubby Culber, gay, of course. Yes, of course the two gays are gay. Giorgio is Pan. What an iconic murder dominatrix. It's sweating! Almost a good. Who the fuck is that? And Detmer are in love, Your Honor. Jet is the grumpy lesbian scientist we all wish we had as mentors in undergrad. Yeah, okay, that's true. Saru is Ace. Obvi. You can pry my disco crew of queers out of my cold, dead hands.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Can I just take a minute? This Ace thing. I don't know exactly what Ace means.
I don't know what it means either.
It's like I
think that's asexual. I think Ace means ace.
I assume it means asexual. It's like, okay, first off, like if they're talking about the actor Doug Jones, no. Doug Jones is not asexual. He's not gay. He's not anything else. He is straight because he is married to a woman, and he's been married to that woman since 1984. And when I looked this up, it took all of how many seconds? It took
not 1 second, not 2 seconds, not 3 seconds, but 4 goddamn seconds times 2.
Yeah, look at my hands. Look at my fucking hands. Do you see opposable thumbs? No, you see only 2 sets of 4 fingers. You see how many is that? Can you count?
There's 8 of them.
Can you count?
There's 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hello. Can you count?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
How many?
There's 8. There's 8.
There's 4 lights.
I said there's 8.
Instead of Picard saying there's 4 lights, how many lights? How many?
He shot him 8 goddamn times and he's still alive.
There's fucking 8 seconds. 8 goddamn seconds is how long it took me to look that shit up.
Mm-hmm. And you know, Charles and Lucas, I'm delirious right now.
In this particular context, here's a little magical phrase for you. Google is your friend.
Yeah.
Well,
oh my God.
And Omawama or Owasikun,
Chumbawamba,
and Detmer. Those are the two.
Oh my God! No, I know who
those are the 2 people on the bridge. She's the black girl, Owasikun, with the.
All right, they're right about that. Okay.
And then Detmer is the woman with the cybernetic on the side of her face. I now remember who they are. Yeah.
Okay, well, pervert of the day is right, I think.
They are not in love. They're just good friends.
I think there's flirtiness with the 2
Am I
of
the
them.
pervert of the day?
I don't fucking know. But I don't fucking know. But no, the thing is that no, like the only thing that I got from the only gay characters, the only people a part of the whole alphabet group in this show that in Discovery that I got from was Stamets. Those that's it.
Perfect timing.
Those 2 right there. And then Stahl, I think is her name, or the woman with the trail.
Yeah. The they them, the them they.
Yeah, that character is supposed to be trans.
Well, clearly her boyfriend as well is a gay.
That character is supposed to be trans. That's what that character is supposed to be.
Who ended up in a robot body years later, right? Something like that.
But about Saru, can we be honest here? Doug Jones is a very feminine man and can be taken for gay if you're a piece of shit who fucking attributes those certain attributes to homosexuals and doesn't view homosexuals as just like, other people. Richard Kish reason he's not here, he's probably blowing a guy. You don't know who's gay. Yeah, gay people are normal most of the time. Most of the time.
Back to the whole thing of
those guys like this, those are made up. They make that up.
Back to the whole thing of either Doug Jones being gay or whatever, which he clearly isn't because he's married and he's been married since 1984 and he's married to a woman. But the thing is that even with Saru potentially being gay or asexual or whatever, guess what? He's trying to court a woman Vulcan.
Oh, you're right. So maybe, did they say Jones or they said Saru, right?
No, this individual specifically said Saru. But I think the reason why
Very progressive of you to refer to them as this individual.
This individual specifically said Saru, but I think the reason why this individual said Saru is because I think they're too lazy to use the actor's actual name because they either don't know it or they don't care to know it.
You might be right about that.
Yeah.
But so not only do I believe that's disrespectful to homosexuals, just to say a man who is flamboyant is definitely a gay. What's her name?
I mean,
Go ahead.
this might be kind of stupid because I always thought this whole idea of it was really stupid. But I mean, have they not heard of the term metrosexual?
Oh, there's that, or just effeminate males, just men who are secure. A man has to do this and have a beard.
Well, I mean,
No,
no,
Doug
it's just like, I
Jones
mean,
is
like the whole thing with metrosexual. I mean, it's like it's a straight man who acts flamboyant.
Sure. Well, I mean, also, and they wear a lot of gel and stuff, Luke. But
Yeah,
Michael B, the bi queen. You realize Shaniqua Martin Green is a hardcore Christian. And I don't want to be racial. Yes.
Oh.
Those people who are both black and hardcore Christian are generally very conservative. What do you think Tyler Perry is and why everybody hates him? He is a super conservative Christian man. Shaniqua Martin Green she must be. If she follows Christian values as hard as she claims, she's conservative.
yeah, but that's where it falls into an assumption. That's where it falls into an assumption.
Yes and no, because sure, I'm assuming she's not a moron, hypocrite, idiot. But based on the rules of Christianity, you are a conservative. Like if you have to be.
Yeah, but I mean, fair enough. But I don't know. It's just, I mean, Rob Saul. I have no idea who Rob Saul is.
Just like everybody else.
When I said the term metrosexual, I was thinking of the South Park episode.
Yeah, I get it. I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
but yes, we must admit, Discovery is the gayest of the Star Trek series. Is that true? I mean, in a Trip?
They don't seem very happy.
Well, I mean, in that regard, then it's the
Isn't
least
that
gayest?
the cartoons? The cartoons are the gayest.
Well, I mean, if we're using the
Okay.
original meaning of the word gay, then yes, I would say Discovery is probably the least gayest. But
Oh yeah, because it's like fucking, especially season 2. That is the least gay thing I have ever seen. That's just like a season full of misery and fucking sobbing and long monologues and captain's logs.
and then of course we have a character who doesn't know when to stop eating. But
Tilly. She was trying to outgrow that mole. What do you want?
Oh man, she just gets bigger.
Well-
and she forms around the mole.
Well,
Oh,
there
man.
is-
Right. She's like, I'll get rid of this thing eventually.
well, there is a way to stop that. What they do is they get a little spray that like freezes it, and then they just chop it off.
Well, you figure in the future, wouldn't they? Or they just don't care about stuff like that, I guess. Oh, it's fine.
Well, hell,
It's the way I
you know
look,
what?
but-
Segue to Enterprise. There is actually an episode in Enterprise where we go to a former colony of Earth called Terra Nova,
I just watched that.
where we end up coming across human descendants of the colonists of that planet, and there is an elderly woman on the planet that is suffering from cancer, and Dr. Phlox
Oh yes.
Dr. Flock says like, "Oh no, we can take care of that, no problem." And that's when we find out that in the future they have a cure for cancer.
In minutes, they can take care of it or something like that.
Yeah.
So
they take care of it, no problem.
it's Dr. Phlox, honey, not Dr. Flop.
Seriously,
Mm-hmm. I'm
mean,
like,
I
is
have-
it Dr. Flop, Dr. Floop? What's his name? I'm trying to figure it out a couple hours ago.
I haven't even seen Enterprise in years, and I still remember his name being Dr. Phlox.
Jesus Christ, Luke, you are on top of the game today. I have spent literally every episode we've done before this making fun of your captainhood. But what a divine performance thus far. You're just, he's got it all already. Like just chimney.
Yeah. And then, of course, now one thing I will say that was one of the stupidest things I had ever seen in Enterprise was
when Trip was pregnant was not stupid, you little son of a bitch.
I'm not talking about that, even though that was really fucking stupid.
It was.
What did you do on that ship?
That episode was
what
amazing.
the hell did you do over there? He's like, I didn't.
He had two nipples on his wrist.
We put our hands in.
And the Klingons laughed at him. And then the Klingons, they don't want to take him over. And then finally they have to admit it. And Archer's like, look, our man, there's a woman over there. And he goes, oh, you got her pregnant. Consider this a lesson. And then he's like, well, no, it's actually him. And he lifts his shirt up and shows the fucking growth. And the Klingons just start fucking making fun of him and cracking up. And they're like, all right, let's go. And they take him. He was so funny. But it was good, too. It was a really good episode. He's the first recorded man to be pregnant. The first Earth human to be recorded as pregnant. And that's how it ends. Trip goes, great.
I don't even remember what I was going to bring up. So thank you for making me lose my train of thought, you bastard. Okay?
You were saying that the gayest thing in Star Trek Enterprise.
I really don't remember. I lost my train of thought. Fuck.
Well, then I'm going to rewind the tape. It's okay, Charles. That's the beauty of YouTube. We'll figure this out. We'll figure this out together.
Rewinding. Here's that Terra Nova.
Oh, yeah. The woman on
We are not human.
Right.
Yeah.
The woman on the right is the woman that was suffering from cancer. Oh, and
yeah,
the guy
had to show her a picture.
The guy on the left is Eric Avari. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Like he was even in the movie and some episodes of. He was in the movie Stargate, and he was in a few episodes of Stargate SG-1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He played Kasuf, who was the father-in-law of Daniel Jackson. When Daniel Jackson was married to his daughter. Shaori was her name. She was a native of the desert planet, which they named in the show called Abydos. Little sidetrack to that show. I'm only bringing it up because Eric Avari was in Star Trek. So, yeah.
There's also a little pregnant Trip. Oh, that's not as good of a picture as I thought it would be.
Oh my god!
And they have to put their hands in that thing, and it glows and whatever. She didn't tell him that this may cause something to happen.
And that was the alien equivalent of shebang bang.
Shebang bang.
Yeah. It just oh my god.
Oh, where'd he go? He disappeared.
I don't know.
He disappeared.
Maybe I pissed him off when I was talking about Stargate.
No, you didn't. Well, let's do this.
Well, at least I wasn't talking about a certain other Star franchise.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true.
All right, we can take.
See, I didn't even mention it, Jim.
He's not even here. He is gone.
Oh shit!
Way to gay up a man when he's sick, Grindel. We gayed him up. Wait, he gayed you up in a good way, like he made you laugh, or he made you feel gay? I'm not really sure where to go with this one.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, metrosexual. We already saw that one.
All right, so well,
back to Enterprise. We're still. Oh, there he is. Whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, what happened, Jim? Where'd you go?
He got abducted.
You got abducted by aliens, and now you're pregnant.
Well, the thing about Enterprise is they brought all kinds of elements together. that had worked in the past.
Okay, well, there was one episode in Enterprise that would be considered to be among my favorites. It dealt with an interesting an interesting issue. It was the episode where Enterprise was observing some kind of like stellar event, and they came across an alien ship that was doing the same thing. And they sent out a signal to that alien ship, and they were like, "Hey, why don't we like share like data and decide to have lunch together and everything?" And the aliens from the ship agreed, and so they sent a delegation over to the Enterprise, and the captain of that alien ship, his wife, and a third alien was with them. And it was revealed that that third alien was a part of the species had not one, but not two, but three genders. And yeah.
Oh yes, that was. Oh yeah. You know
what was the third gender?
The third, I don't know what the third gender specifically was, but it contributed to the breeding process for the aliens themselves. And
it was Clam, the third
and in this episode, when
that's
like
the third gender,
and
yeah,
they were interacting with each other, and Trip did not like how the third gender was being treated. The third gender was being treated very poorly, and
he's like, oh, treat that gender properly. Oh, how you gonna just go ahead.
Trip started talking to this third person, and unfortunately he put thoughts in this alien's head that were not very good, and eventually the third alien ended up killing itself.
Well, thanks for spoiling, but that's go ahead. There's an and.
Yeah, the alien ended up killing itself, and the other two aliens, the husband and the wife, found out the reason why this third gender had done that, and they blamed the crew of the Enterprise, specifically Trip, for this, and Archer was incredibly angry with Trip.
Well,
this was like an episode that was leading into their implementation of the Prime Directive.
Yes, like at the very end of the episode, he says something like that. There should be some sort of law or directive that tells us what to do in this sort of situation.
Yes.
They're leading into that all the way. What episode was that? It was.
Well, Jim, are you? Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you cut off. You cut off there for a second.
Yeah, he froze. I think his internet.
He's frozen
or something.
Yeah, his internet might be crapping out.
Yeah, and that was very and Archer.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, funny. Kish. Yeah.
Trip was attempting to emancipate that androgynous. Yeah, he said it's not fair the way they treat them. They're like slaves. They shouldn't be doing this. And yeah, Archer just wanted things to go smoothly because he's like, this is our first go at talking to anyone out here. We're the first ship. This is the first impression that any of these other aliens are going to have of us. So we have to do the right thing. We have to not screw around with. And yeah, he was. And what's funny is, well, with both of those episodes, Trip gets pregnant, and Trip also says something about this third gender. So he's always the one that's kind of messing with the other species, you know. Trip's like a cowboy. Trip is really the Kirk of Enterprise because he's messing around with all these other species.
So if anything, maybe Scott Bakula did not ruin the franchise.
Connor Trenier did. Woo! I pulled that out of my hat.
Although that's another reference. Connor Trenier also went to the Stargate franchise. He went to Stargate Atlantis.
Oh, did he? Wow.
Yeah, he became a villain on that show. He became the villain known as Michael.
Yeah, I'm about to quit. This is just pissing me the fuck off.
Yeah, something's up with your camera and shit.
No, last time I did a fucking show, the woman when we were on Late Again Zen, the fucking woman knocks the goddamn internet out. Like that already is just like it shouldn't happen. It's just so fucking absurd for that to happen. And now the cats are fucking on top of the internet router and never has ever happened before. And they're fighting on the goddamn fucking router and the fucking power plugs. And now my internet just won't stay on. And now my camera won't come on. And I'm about to kick a fucking hole in the wall. Anyway, listen, this shit was led into, and that's obviously the reason for the Prime Directive. There's an episode where T'Pol, who I hate, by the way, she's the worst person to ever play a Vulcan. I swear to God. She's nothing but puns and snark. She's a cunt. She's just a snarky little bitch.
Well,
I get it.
But she's the first Vulcan to go out with humans.
I know.
All that time with them, but you can't forgive a bit.
I don't hate that, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't say. The point is, she's a fucking asshole. I get it that she's the first, and I forgot what I was gonna say. It was something like that.
She has an attitude. She's the worst. She's all snark and all this and all.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, it also helps that she's very attractive as well. So she's eye candy.
Her and Trip went somewhere, and there's a woman who is like giving their child oxygen and then taking it away, and it's suffocating. And then she gives it back, and she takes it away and gives it back. And he's just staring all nasty and angry. And then he's about to intervene, and T'Pol's like, no, that's how they wean their child for the atmosphere or something. That's their race. You should be more aware of other cultures, etc. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it's a slow build. So is T'Pol right now. Her cuntiness. It's a slow build to her. She represents all of Vulcans and their eventual acceptance and embracing of humans. Because in Enterprise, the most interesting twist of all, the Vulcans are the villains.
Oh, there is that moment where they go to the sanctuary or...
With the Andorians. The Andorian incident. No, you said it right. Maybe it was a temple.
Yeah,
it was a temple.
The Andorians were the victims in that situation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he still tried to rape T'Pol.
Yeah, they were pretty rough
He literally said he was going to rape her. He says, "I'm going to enjoy having you as a prisoner." That means sex.
And yeah. Eventually, and then there was that one area where they couldn't go into because there's all the artifacts. You can't go in there unless you're a monk. And eventually, we saw you for a second. Eventually, they go in there, they find that door, open it up, and it's this giant facility. It looked the biggest thing you'd ever seen in in a Star Trek. Like, whoa! Hey, look, there's an observatory, and yep. The Andorians were right. I mean,
how do they not read that though? Like, how do they not scan that? How is that just something? How do they hide that fucking facility? It was one of the biggest.
Deep inside of that moon, perhaps there's some sort of metal that blocks it. I don't know.
You know what it looked like? The Federation in the future. The Federation outpost, run by Charles Whedon's Viking boyfriend. His Viking man crush is what I meant to say. Not boyfriend. That implies things.
Who are you talking about?
The guy you like, Udo or something. The guy who runs the Federation in Discovery.
The main admiral there. he's in other stuff too.
In the
Charles Vance.
no.
He's
Um,
got like a Muslim kind of name almost.
almost.
Oded Fair.
Yeah, that's what I said. Udi Furter. And
But
yes, his name is Charles Vance in the fucking show.
Yeah.
So you're right.
He's not a Viking. He's an Arab.
He's an Arab.
Yeah, he's from. Well, actually, he is from Israel. He's an Israeli actor.
Oh.
He's an Israeli actor.
propaganda.
So no, he's pretty freaking far from being a Viking, dude. Come on.
All right. Well, still, he's a lovely actor, and you have a man
Oh.
crush on him.
I never
so
said
what
I had
about-
a man crush on him. I just know his name, and I'm a fan of him from the Mummy movies.
That's all I
So
meant.
we've heard about what you think about T'Pol. What about Hoshi? Oh my god.
Ugh.
This is her
I
whole
mean-
attitude the whole time too. Oh my
No,
god.
she's very optimistic and cheery. I don't. Although I just don't. I don't. It's not that I don't care for her. I do see her point.
I liked Hoshi's character development as the show progressed, but at the start of her introduction, like when she first got started as a character, I really didn't like her because she was so unsure of herself. And
That was the thing. Yeah, should she even be out there?
And every single time that she was put in a position where she had to do the job and she had to she had to toughen up and actually do the job, she always backed down and just like went into her safe space and everything. And I'm like, lady, if you can't do this shit, then why the fuck are you even here?
And there is one point where she goes on a away mission and sees some dead aliens, and it kind of affects her. She has a rough time after that, and yeah, she has all kinds of things. But yeah, they need her there because she can
like she's a very good
all kinds of stuff.
She's a very good linguist. She's good with languages. I understand that. But the thing is that she's in space. There's not really anywhere else that she can go. She can't just go into her quarters and just stay there the entire trip. She has responsibilities on that ship that she is obligated to uphold. That's the terms of her being there. Like, I mean, she like even when Archer recruited her, she had the ability to say no, but she said yes. So when she,
but he also kind of begged her. He's like, "I need you. Come on."
Well, no, he played her the Klingon tape, and then he lured her in with some new language.
Yeah, but she could have said no. She could have weighed the pros. She could have played like weighed the pros and cons and still said no.
Yeah, but
now you're reminding me of that first episode because the Klingon crashes onto Earth and we have to get him back.
And it's not Tony Todd. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but then again, we have
Tiny Lister. I don't know how I'm gonna say Tony Lister.
But no, then we also have another example of Scott Bakula ruining the franchise.
No, we don't. Go ahead. What is it? He's never ruined it once.
Oh no! Here we go.
How do we click it?
Way to kill the franchise, Bakula.
You know what? Fuck George Takei anyway. So
I mean,
I don't even like him.
I was waiting for you to say that again.
I mean, I'm indifferent towards George Takei. I'm indifferent towards
He's a piece of shit. He's a garbage monster, but let's not talk about that.
Okay.
So
he
one
is
thing you guys mentioned
just vile.
with Hoshi, her character develops through that whole show, and actually they do that. I mean, pretty much every character develops through the show, but there's some hard development.
Is this point to spoil that Jim said, "Oh, I'm fucking into the Enterprise. I'm watching the first season again, and I'm gonna finally finish the goddamn series." And then it's like every PowerPoint, you guys are just gonna fucking jam down my throat, jerks.
I thought you already watched it
years and years ago, and not all of it. I never finished it.
Okay.
All right. Well, who was the?
I'm not gonna say who.
Who was the helmsman? What was his name again?
Merriweather.
Black guy?
I wasn't going to say black guy.
Well, I wanted to know if that was the black guy. I didn't say black guy, like in quotations. I said the black guy.
All right. I really liked the stuff involving him. I did. I liked him. I liked him a lot. Yeah.
And
they didn't give him a lot of time.
No, because he's got a lot of time in the first bunch of episodes.
But the stuff that the stuff that they did give him was very good.
Very lore expansive, and it really this is what I think people miss, and this is why I said the fans ruined the franchise, not Scott Bakula, because everything, it was like a giant Easter egg, the show. Everything is there to give exposition, and everything there, it's like, oh yeah, wow, that's what we see on all those other shows, but like before they knew better, like using transporters just to transport goods and calling them, what do they call them? Phaser pistols or some shit. The fact that they don't have their badges, but they do have a pocket here where they pull their communication badge out of. So, like, you get to see all the evolutions. And then whatever he just said, that Charles Whedon character down there, the real one, not the Mirror Universe one who tried to kill me once when I was under anesthesia. Yeah, it was a true story.
All right. The one character in Enterprise that I would say that I like the least is the Scotsman. I can't remember his name.
Let's get to him in 1 second.
Him.
You just found every face that does that. Let's get to him 1 second, but back to Black Guy, as Charles calls him.
No, you said that.
Charles, his name is Travis Merriweather, okay?
I literally asked what his name was, and I did not once say black man until you said
You're killing me. But he helped expand the lore in a lot of ways. For instance, when he refers to living off-world his whole life, and it's like, oh wow, that's it. There's a lot of like that real Navy kind of vibe going on with those characters, and it's just really cool.
Just like this. I'm wearing.
I don't understand
because this is the only show where they wear a cap like the Navy now, or where they have a cap for the actual ship. It says NX-01 right on it. I was thinking I need to get one of those hats. And that's for me, that's a little bridge from the past, from now to then, where it's like, oh look, in between they don't wear hats ever. Actually, ever. Now that I'm thinking about it, even
I don't think
like a dress number 2 Charlie, number 1.
Are you laughing at Luke's ridiculous face or V's comment? That's for so Ferengi, huh? The Scotsman. What is his fucking point? Like, I don't even understand what it's just, they just flash to him. I like him, actually.
Look, the only thing I know about that character is that I don't even remember his fucking
He's
name.
a fan. Yeah, what?
I don't even remember his fucking name, but I know that he was the tactical officer, and I think he was also security on the ship as well.
Yes.
He's a Brit, Charles. Wait, this is 2 acts of racism in one show already now. Well, 39 minutes.
God damn it. I literally thought he was Scottish, okay? God damn it. Reed, that's right.
Malcolm Reed. Yeah.
Well, thank God our number 4 is here through telecom communications today.
God damn it. Why did I think he was Scots?
He got the bathhouse virus.
Original series had Scotty, who was literally Scottish. It's like
And at one
little on the
point,
nose there, buddy.
and at one point, Malcolm says something about to Paul, and it's like one of the first moments where he lets loose a little bit, where you see a different side of him because he's very straight laced the whole time. He doesn't do, you're like, man, what is up with this guy? He's like, he's always he's like by the book guy.
Lieutenant Reed?
You know? Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? I feel like he's like a devil may care kind of party boy. That's the vibe I get off of him.
That's what. You start seeing that as time goes
I think
on.
in Enterprise, there was only one episode where Malcolm Reed was actually decent, and that is the episode where Trip and Reed were stuck in that shuttle together.
That's
one of the
best episodes. I love it.
And they had to I think they had to get to know each other. They had to drink alcohol to stay warm. They had to cover themselves up with a blanket or something, and they just spent the whole time talking to each other.
Canoodling.
Yeah,
that was called Shuttle Pod 1, I believe.
Yeah,
that episode.
But no, it's just now. Of course, I don't know. I mean, I may go back and watch the show, but the thing is that it's kind of hard for me to do that when the show did not get a proper ending.
It's gonna. I have a feeling, and you know what? Because Paramount Plus is pushing this shit, man. Number one, they're thinking about bringing T'Pol into Strange New Worlds because she'd still be alive, and her journey would really help inform Spock on his. So they're looking to potentially squeeze her in, and she looks still pretty much the same.
Yeah, but the thing is that she
have to make up her up.
She would be an old woman at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, an old Vulcan
almost
woman.
calculated that before.
No.
She'd be in her,
I thought we
70s
I thought we established that Vulcans have a lifespan of 200 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is Strange New Worlds would be 100 years after that? I don't know.
Well, no, it's just we found out that in Enterprise, T'Pol was like the Vulcan equivalent of 60 years old. She was 60 at the time. She looks like that she was in her 20s, but she was 60, around 60.
How many in-universe years between Enterprise and the original series? 110, which means she would be 170.
So she would be in her golden years at that point.
A perfect person to pass on some sage wisdom.
So
start losing her mind.
So Jolene Blaylock would definitely still play the character, but she would not look the same as she did in Enterprise. They would have to use makeup and prosthetics. They would have to.
Because she does look the same as she did in Enterprise, because she was apparently
Vulcans,
only 20 in that.
Yeah.
Even when Vulcans get older, they don't look that, they don't look super droopy or. I mean,
even Sarek never
really. Yeah, he looked all right.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all know what happened with Sarek. He lost his goddamn mind.
Yep, that's what I mean. They could play on that a little bit too, where
she's not even 50 years old right now. This girl,
she's almost 50.
Shut your mouth.
Wow.
She's only born a few years before I am, and I'm not almost 50, sucker.
She's 48.
And that's not almost 50.
2 years shy.
It's 48.
She's 2 years.
It's 48.
That's when it's almost.
God damn it.
48.
She's 2 years. God damn it.
She looks like the same almost. You could fucking easily put that stupid little boy wig on her.
It looks like that she also resorted to plastic surgery as well.
If they made her put the wig back on,
my God. In that main picture, that one that you're mousing over right there, it looks like she utilized plastic surgery. It really does.
Maybe. Why not?
Oh yeah.
I better be careful. Yeah. I forget we're on YouTube. I don't know if we're gonna see boobs or something.
Then take it off the goddamn screen.
It's gone. Yeah, and that's what's crazy. Think about that. Enterprise is only 100 years from now, which means the original series is only 210 years from now.
Doesn't matter either way. We're all gonna be dead.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, well, I'll be a robot. You'll be dead.
I'll just say now, if you find a way to use brains as some sort of computer and you want to put my brain in a starship, that's fine. Go ahead. I'll donate it to Elon Musk or something.
Oh my god, that just brings me back to that fucking movie where Kirk just asks, "What does God need with a starship?"
To go on a beer run.
God damn it, I hate that movie so much. That movie is so stupid.
We never got an answer, did we, either?
No, we never did. Because, seriously, it is an important question that we have to ask. What does God need with a starship?
Well, he's not necessarily God. He was a powerful being, but he lived in the middle of the galaxy, right? And
what was it? Did Cybok take them to the middle of the galaxy?
Yeah, it was the middle of the galaxy, which I think we talked about that before, where they kind of mimic.
Was this before they found out that in the middle of the galaxy is just nothing but a supermassive black hole?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like, maybe around the time it was.
Yeah, because it's just like when you go to the center of the galaxy, guess what's going to happen? You're going to fucking die.
Because they did go to the center of the galaxy in the original series too, in like maybe the second season. I remember watching an episode, so they had been there before.
Yeah, no, but it's just, like I said, when you go to the center of the galaxy, only one thing's going to happen. You're going to get sucked into the supermassive black hole, and you're going to be reduced to the size of a tiny little speck, and you're going to die.
You don't know that.
Scientists are starting to theorize that maybe it might be like a wormhole where you get to the bottom and you actually don't just get compressed, you get transferred somewhere else.
They're wrong, because here's the thing. What's it called? Entropy or something like that? How, I forget what it's called, but everything's moving farther away from us.
Yeah.
And so think about that. As matter gets pulled into the black hole, everything gets farther away. Everything gets larger and larger. So that center of that black hole where all that matter goes, it's staying the same, relatively speaking. You know what I'm saying? And in space, everything is relative. So as this center expands, it still looks like a pin dot because everything else is expanding along with it.
If I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that when you go into a supermassive black hole, you're basically just entering another universe?
No, I'm saying you're just going into the black hole and you're becoming a part of that matter compression that expands and expands and expands. It's like a fucking balloon or whatever. Or I had a better way to say it, but I forgot it.
I'm hoping that black holes aren't something like, yeah, I see what you mean, expanding.
It's literally like getting fatter. It's like getting fatter.
Yeah. Or if it's someone who's tapping into our universe, pulling matter and energy out of it, and then eventually it collapses. You know, it can only take so much friction, so much usage before the black hole falls into itself. But they're actually taking our matter because theirs is dying.
This guy's crazy.
So you're saying that it's just getting fatter. So in other words, a black hole is basically just Tilly. It's just Tilly.
Right? Yes. The black hole is just Tilly trying to outgrow her mole. Yeah, the black hole is the mole in her face. So it grows as she grows. It grows.
It just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing.
For some reason, was I supposed to be imagining Calgon because I was really seeing a Calgon commercial full of Tilly moles. That's Richard Kish gets that joke. I was about to say it's an old person joke, but so Richard Kish gets that joke.
Oh,
think
I know
Carl
about
Sagan.
spaghettization.
Yeah.
I know all about that. It's where your
So
body
wait.
is stretched to the point where it basically looks like spaghetti.
And then it
Does
just
that have
stays
anything
there
to
on a
do
plane.
with the spaghetti flying monster? The
I don't mean an airplane, Luke.
The
Ramen.
right?
Oh, stop it! All right, Bob's
Ramen.
your uncle. Cut it out.
What? I can't talk about the spaghetti monster.
Let's talk serious here
Dead
because
people. There's real people.
the entire that spaghetti
All
shit
hail
makes
spaghetti
sense
monster.
to the Tilly's mole theory and the spaghettization. It makes sense because
it's
in the
way
end,
too much spaghetti.
spaghetti and
You can never have too much spaghetti.
as you're stretched into spaghetti, imagine the universe as a plate of glass with a dot of paint in the middle of it. And that dot of paint is the black hole. And then if you put something into it and it's stretching the spaghetti, that dot of paint will get bigger. But you won't notice it because all the other things on the fucking glass are also stretching out correctly. It's not cloudy with a chance of meatballs, idiot. It's fucking just cloudy and wet, okay? It sucks out today. Ouch.
I've never seen Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, but
Me neither.
I've heard nothing
good
about
flick.
those movies.
And I'm sorry I called you an idiot, Richard Kish. That was rude.
Fine. It's fine.
I hope he doesn't cry about it.
'Cause I got faith of the heart.
heart.
Go where the believe I can do anything.
Oh, my
I
God.
sing it all. I got faith, faith of the heart. It's all in my head all day at work. All
But
I
you
do
can
is
skip
hear
it. That's
that
the
song.
thing. You can jump
it-
it, right? And
That song plays on repeat nonstop over and over and over again in Jim's head ever since Enterprise ended.
I don't. That is not an untrue statement.
Yeah.
It is not at
Well,
all.
there's a
You know, like a
character-
Lobo's got a constant heavy metal station going in his head that he murders to. I go on an even more violent murderous rampage with that song on a constant loop.
there's a character I forgot about.
What character?
What's his name?
Scott Bakula.
Nah, I guess we talked about him a little bit. But
Richard Kish. Love Kish. Love Scott Bakula. Okay, Richard. Okay.
We
the
talked.
dog.
We talked.
The dog.
Oh, Porthos.
Porthos, yes.
Yeah. Well, the only thing we were like, look, Porthos. Like, oh, and we also forgot to talk about Davis.
Who that?
Ensign Davis.
I don't know. Or her.
Is that later
He's-
on in
he-
this?
He's the one from the future that's also trying to stave off the temporal Cold War.
Oh, so that's in the Temporal Wars arc later.
Yeah. Because he's a little bitch that ends up like getting
Look.
like erased. He ends up getting erased from the timeline thanks to the Suliban.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
and-
That's that whole thing.
What is the Suliban?
Oh, you'll find out soon.
It's so
You'll
weird.
find out.
Yeah. But
I just picture a bunch of George Takeis throwing cinnamon buns at you.
Yeah, and then god damn it! Now I want a Cinnabon cinnamon roll. Fuck.
Well, just think about George Takei fucking, oh my, rubbing it on
That is the
himself. And
that is
he's
the last
got
thing-
cinnamon bun icing on his nipples. Do you want one now?
No.
And there you go. You're welcome.
That is the last thing that I want running through my head when I walk through a Cinnabon getting a cinnamon roll.
Next time you go to Cinnabon, you're gonna see the clerk at George Takei rubbing the fucking icing on his nipple.
I'm gonna make
Doink.
a Cinnabon right now.
Well, thank you for that, because now I'm never going to want a Cinnabon cinnamon roll again.
Oh,
because now every time I go into a Cinnabon, all I'm gonna think about is George Takei rubbing cinnamon rolls on his nipples.
Oh my!
What the fuck?
Creamy, sticky.
Ew.
You want some, Charles?
No.
I love you, Charles.
Oh my god.
This ship is
How
flying
early
straight
on-
into hell.
Yeah, we're going. to
How
hell.
early does Shran show up? Do you remember?
Shran shows up when, I think Shran first shows up when he is trying to go after the Vulcans, when he's trying to investigate the suspicions of the Vulcans spying on Andoria.
You see this? This is a really bad joke wanting to come out. You mean Susan Sarandon?
But no, like Thylek Shran
Who?
is one of my favorite characters in the show. Yeah, Thylek Shran is easily one of my favorite characters in the show. I fucking love that character, and
Yeah,
he sticks with the show all the way until I think near or up to the end of the Zindi storyline.
Yeah, because I think Archer has to call in a favor with him,
Yeah.
and he's kind of he doesn't want, he's kind of under orders to not do anything with the humans anymore, but he knows he has to help.
He's
Archer
well, he continues to help Archer because for some weird happenstance, he continues to owe Archer. He continues to owe him a
that's
bunch
true.
of favors.
Oh, I've been ignoring you guys because of the spoilers, but I think this is what Kish is talking about, but I'm not going to read it. I'm looking away. Okay, that's all. I'm taking it off. Hope you got it.
yeah.
Phlox is the woman's favorite character on the show currently.
Phlox is a good character. I like him.
He's
too.
fun.
Oh, you know what? There it is. I now remember what I was going to talk about. That I couldn't remember. It involved Phlox. The thing that I thought was so stupid that was involving Phlox is the episode which was a callback to Star Trek First Contact. There was where they had the Borg show up and they try to assimilate the X-01. And Phlox gets infected with Borg nanites.
Let me tell you something. When that happens, this woman, she's going to fucking go nuts.
Yeah, he gets infected. And what
she loves the Borg and Phlox.
Yeah, what he does to try to cure himself of the nanites has never been done before in any other Star Trek property, because it's always been said that you can't cure Borg nanites, that once you're infected, that's it, you're done. You're going to turn into a Borg, and that's it. But yet Phlox finds a way to get rid of him.
And yet somehow it gets lost in time, which means Phlox must not meet that great of an end. In the end,
some people suggest that First Contact, because that Borg came from First Contact. And that First Contact actually did shift the timeline because of that. And that what we're watching now is a shifted version of the original.
So basically, Enterprise didn't actually happen in this, or what? I mean, if it's a shifted timeline, it would Enterprise would be the stable point, right? Either way.
Well, like we said, like we found out with Sung, with Chick Sung there, she eventually things will just right themselves, right? Time will always kind of pull itself back to where it needs to go. So,
you're talking Strange New Worlds, that episode tomorrow or something like that. Tomorrow, yeah.
Yes. Said, well, even though the wars, the eugenic wars happened years later, it still happened, so it doesn't really matter so much. The details, it all gets in there.
and this is a proven thing in well, it's a theorized, I think it's mathematically proven that the universe, I've said this last time when we talked about that episode, the universe has a what is it, an error correction code in it, where basically the grandfather paradox is impossible. You'll never be able to kill your own grandfather.
Well, it will never change your timeline, but it will just create a new branch of timeline. But I don't think you would actually be able to exist in that timeline. Something like that.
No, I mean, why wouldn't you be?
Oh, I hate temporal mechanics. I don't have that gift in there.
So what do you guys think of the ship itself in Enterprise?
Oh, the NX.
I was never really a fan of the X-01 or the NX-01. I wasn't really a fan of it. I didn't like its design all that much.
Which part? The outside, the inside, or just all of it?
The interior was very bland to me. I didn't really care for it, and the exterior was even worse.
Well, the interior is... See, here's the thing people may not realize. Paramount also killed the franchise because they said, wow, we're just so huge, we don't need to put money into this. And they put it onto UPN as the literal flagship show, pun intended, the United Paramount Network. And they put no fucking money into it. And the whole idea of even doing the that version, Archer's Enterprise, was like, hey, we don't have to do these fucking fancy screens and holodecks and all this crazy shit. We can fucking stick fucking little flat screen TVs on the wall, and we can put knobs and phone dials, and we can use shit like they did in the 60s. They thought about this is how we can get creative, and that's why it's a real tight bridge. And that's also, if you notice, the space effects, the ship effect, everything outside of the ship, it's terrible. The CGI, the whatever you want to call it, CGI, fucking horrible. It's the worst of the franchise
also,
for sure.
When did that start? 2001, I think.
The ships look ridiculous floating around.
Maybe that's UPN. Maybe is that? Well, was UPN just a distributor of it, or did they have production?
You were asking like what I thought of the ship, the NX-01's exterior and interior. Well, I said I didn't like it, but my favorite ship design, both exterior and interior, is the Enterprise E. That's my favorite.
Wait, that's
from Nemesis and the other one, right?
It is. I think it's also used in Insurrection as well.
Yes. Okay. Yeah,
oh, and I think it was in First Contact as well. I think it was in First Contact because the last movie that used the D, the Enterprise D, was Generations. Because Generations, the ship crash lands on that planet after it gets hit by the Nexus.
Yes.
No, not the Nexus.
No,
it gets hit. It gets hit by the Klingon torpedo, and then it forces the saucer to separate, and then it crash lands on the planet.
Is that Generations or is that no? Yeah.
It was Generations.
Generations.
Yeah.
And
so First Contact is the first movie that has the Enterprise E.
You're right.
And you know what?
A bit darker. It gets into that darker version of the ships where it was more of a gray than a silver. You know, the walls of the bridge and everything was just a little bit. There was brown and stuff. It looked almost like leather or whatever.
Yeah, but no, it's just like. It's just another example of why First Contact is my favorite Star Trek movie. I fucking love First Contact. Holy shit, dude.
I fucking love Phantoms. Ben Affleck was the bomb. Yeah, never mind. Go on.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on. That's fucking obvious, dude. Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms.
So what Richard is saying
even though I've never seen it, but
wait.
Come on, yeah.
Before you go, is it still on this Generations Enterprise thing?
Yeah.
Okay, because when you finish, I have a
Wild speculation. Shun.
Okay, go ahead.
I say when you're done.
Okay, so Richard Kish is saying down here that they purposely made the interior of Archer's Enterprise look like a submarine, close quarters, etc. And I was going to say the same thing. That's another point that pulls it to the Navy for me. They have these hats, and they also, it looks like the interior of a ship. If you've ever been on a submarine, a destroyer, anything, any one of those naval ships, it has that feel where, you know, you have to go up these little ladders and everything. You know, it's like portholes and stuff everywhere. It's, you know, that's why I like. I mean, they could go low on the budget because this is the very first ship that left with
right
capability.
I personally like that about the ship. It's a little close. You really don't even get that many great views of the bridge, but just everything is there. Everything that is Star Trek is in Enterprise. Even the bridge, like those you know, that like curved banister they've got. It's there, but it's like a wire frame. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
And that kind of sums up the show itself, story wise, characters.
It's like a handrail all around, just a nice handrail, like on a catwalk or something. But it looks it looks like a submarine or.
But
sort of
onto speaking of Enterprise D and Generations, and my
Wild speculation.
I think we may see the Enterprise D again. It might be possible. Wait a minute. Maybe my theory's already bunk. Didn't they do something with it in Picard season 3 or no?
They did, yeah.
What did they do? They used a piece of it. It was back at the Fleet Museum.
No, they when the Borg Queen was using the sort of like assimilated the younger generations of Starfleet personnel. And also assimilated the newer like tech in their ships. The older generation of tech in the older gen ships that they had, including the Enterprise D, was unaffected. So the entire old guard of Star Trek, like Picard, Crusher, LaForge, Worf, all them, they were able to get on to the Enterprise D from the menagerie of ships, and they got on to the Enterprise D, and they were able to fight off the assimilated Starfleet and save the day, basically. And that's how we were able.
One. But at the end, what did they do with it? Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, then I will update or amend my
wild speculation
to Kirk will fly the Enterprise D again, because same season we discovered Project Phoenix in Section 31 had Kirk's body. So they went back there. They got him off that planet, or they dug him up after Spock buried him. Don't know. Was Spock going there and burying him? Is that canon, or is that from a comic book or book?
Oh, I don't remember that.
I think it's a book, actually. I think it's William Shatner wrote. Yeah, but there is a story. It must be one of the novels. There's a story where Spock goes, or no. It's Bones. Bones goes and retrieves his body, I think, and then buries him, gives him a proper burial. But he actually gets regenerated or something. I don't fucking know. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's totally Shatner's book. Shatner wrote this. Yeah, we're getting Kirk back eventually, maybe even in this Section 31 movie. Don't know, but that's it. My speculation, which is wild, is that Kirk will fly the Enterprise again.
That'd be awesome.
It's
You may see it if they do the new show. You might see it at some point too.
Yeah, but look, isn't the Section 31 show, the Section 31 movie, supposed to take place?
What? You read what this son of a has to say right there? He's a liar. He's a liar and a maroon.
Well, I thought the Section 31 movie was supposed to take place in the era of Discovery during season 2. So it's like Georgiou went back to her original time. That's what happened.
Holy crap, there is one.
What, you little son of a bitch? What?
Oh, God damn it.
What are you talking about, you son of a bitch?
No. It says 8 minutes and 47. What?
Yeah, that's not. It's a lie.
That's not it?
No.
Hold on. Section 31.
10 days ago. Where is that?
That's not how you spell section. Okay. Section 31 trailer.
Where's dead air now? There's no trailer.
Yeah, we're all looking at shit. No, I don't
There's
think there
no
is. It's
trailer.
just a guy with a bunch of pictures and with all the updates and stuff. But yeah.
This is not. Oh my God.
Richard Kish.
You're talking about the thing that was posted by Star Trek Nation, right?
Well, that's one of them, yeah. But
Okay.
Kish, is that the one? He says he thinks anyway. He thinks nothing. He's a jerk.
right
He
now,
tricked us. It's so fucking rude.
Tricked us. Made us do dead air for a second.
It was a setup. It was a setup.
It was a setup.
He's like, oh, these guys think they're going to do good without me?
Oh, Kish, that rascally rascal. Oh, boy.
Stroke.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's fucking twirling his mustache.
He's twirling his dastardly mustache. Yeah, but
All right,
man,
so
but
I hope you enjoy watching more of that Enterprise. It is a very good show, even though Bacula's kind of no.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
What about when he was floating in his shower? Though he's just taking a shower, and all of a sudden the gravity fucks up, and his balls float up in the air and everything, and he floats, and all the water ball, the balls of water, they're all floating in the air. The water that was coming in the shower, it turned to balls of what do you? And then it fixes, it rights itself, and then he falls down, and you see his butt.
They're called water beads.
Okay, beads, balls, same thing. Bacula's beads were floating in the air.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Bacula's beads playing Friday at the Mercury Lounge.
Yeah, because everybody wants to see that. Okay, but as always, thanks for ruining the franchise, Scott Bakula.
And I am Jimmy Grins. Skeleton ghost.
And I'm Captain Luke John. What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming. And hold on.
You don't say what's up when you're saying goodbye. What the fuck is you don't say what's up, everybody?
Well,
It's not the intro of the show.
Ciao is kind of both. Same thing with aloha. Aloha.
Your sexuality is both, but I mean, what's the
geez,
point?
Nah. Then there's this.
Oh, I love it. It's the best one. This is like Alpha Podrants episode 1. Here it comes. Worf. Shorty's face when it happens just looks over casually.
Hey, you guys remember when I did this?
Oh, that's two vaginas that are going to go into
Yeah.
I thought he was making two vaginas.
No, I wasn't. I mean,
A hole and a hole.
yeah.
See, this is a take it off the screen. That's a rape scene. You should have done a sensitivity warning. I mean, that was a literal date rape. What you just witnessed a date rape.
You pregnant? You're right.
Yeah.
You didn't even know they were having sex.
Trip
That was
did
where
not
we
agree
first-
to that.
No, he did not. And that's the first place someone saw a holodeck, so he must have.
Yes. Well, also see, boom, birth of the holodeck tech, and now we know how they got it because it got so actually, we must have gotten it in it once the Klingons joined the Federation. Maybe we got the holodecks from the Klingons because think about it, 100 years later on the Enterprise A, no holodecks. So, but the Klingons did have it this whole time as part of that deal not to slaughter the whole fucking ship full of aliens. So they must not have given it. And again, they're not a part of the Federation in the TOS. So it was an integration. But fuck, I was going to say one last wonderful thing. Oh, Trip. I love how when he's with this alien chick, it's just flirting. You know what I mean? Like, it's just her touching her fucking hand to his face and giving electric sparks and him kind of liking it. And then he goes back later and the British guy makes fun of him. She has real nice scales. And he's like, there's a certain sensuality about her, Trip says. It's a precursor to Kirk just slinging dick across the galaxy. They were trepidatious at this point. You know what I mean? Like it was still taboo. It's something that they didn't do. So Trip, not only the first recorded male to be pregnant in Earth's history, but he may also be the first intergalactic Earthling dick slinger too. Soon.
You're right.
Like I don't know how his arc goes. We'll see. Does he slay Riker level puss? Kirk level puss?
No, he doesn't. But he is the one who does stuff like that. But I believe Malcolm there, he really wants to. Because I think he even says at one point, it's like, what's the point in coming out here if you can't like have a couple of alien girls?
He looks like a guy who wants to. Now, Richard Kish doesn't want us to end just yet because he says holodecks were developed out of transporter technology. We literally see it. It was gifted. Well, it was stolen. It was given as a barter for their lives from that alien species to the Klingons. So where does that come from?
It may be a little bit different the way that we do it because we take photons and make them solid. So maybe because remember that in that episode, the ship of those aliens, they could eat stuff off of the walls. Remember, everything was very organic in that ship.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the touching of the sand was like this transfer of.
So you mean maybe their holodeck functioned differently than the ones we got?
Yeah, he just wrote down, hey, we went in this room and all of a sudden you could see like landscapes and you could touch things and it was really amazing, but he had no idea how they made it. And we just like the warp drives are all developed in a different way. You know, when, and that's what they're talking about in Enterprise at the beginning, where the Vulcans are holding us back because they want to make sure that we're ready and we've got the technology is working. It's not just going to blow up on us. We're not going to be stranded.
Yeah,
we're not going to be a hazard to going out into space to everyone else that's out there too. And plus, they want us to be more not as emotional and crazy, and that's another.
They want to Borg us. Well, listen, let's hope Richard Kish does not die of space AIDS before next Sunday and can make his glorious return to the Alpha Podrants to tell us all about holodeck tech, because I think we should definitely get into that. I want to know, how do we get from the holodecks? Where's the disconnect? You know what I mean? I want to see if it's anywhere in the lore. I want to try to do some holodeck research. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Take a look.
I got a lot of free time this week, so yeah.
Instead of Geordie's holodeck. Actually, when you get to Next Generation, it kind of seems like the holodeck is the new thing. It's like, oh, this has holodecks on it? Oh, wow. And everyone, yeah, it has a bunch. It has like 3 of them. Like, oh, wow. So it takes that long to develop it, right? How many years is it from Enterprise to...
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
Years.
We're talking hundreds of years with tech that already exists. Look, we're going to go in circles here. We're just going to need to get our facts together and have this real debate. And also Richard Kish is gay. I'm Charles Whedon, and thank you for joining us.
I'm Jimmy Grins. And Captain Luke.
And I'm thank you for ruining the franchise, Scott Bakula.
No, you're Captain Fennel. Your fucking cat loves you or something. Just sits there and stares at you.
Yeah.
What a fucking weirdo. He's watching the show. He wants you to shut the show off.
It means he wants something. So yeah, no, he wants this. He wants to lay on my shoulder.
Well, there you go. Well, before we get Fennel's butthole.
Oh no, I make every effort possible not to show his butthole.
You know what this means, ladies.
All right, everyone.
Yeah, live long and
and scissor and prosper and all that.